The third technique is negative inquiry, and frankly speaking, this is my personal favorite. Negative inquiry is used when you find that you're dealing with someone who is saying things to you which might be potentially conflicting or aggressive, and you feel that that person is actually not very clear in the mind why they're doing that. So, which is where you use a negative inquiry technique to do two things. One, for you to understand where that person is coming from, as in what they mean. And two, negative inquiry actually helps clarify the other person in their mind what they want to say. Let's take an example. Let's say I've written a beautiful story, a beautiful novel. I think it's beautiful. And my closest friend comes and says, look, I think you shouldn't even try and get this book published. So what do you think my typical response would be? You obviously feel very strongly about something that you've created, a book. Your best friend coming and saying, I don't think you should even get it published. You might actually feel that that person is letting you down, and you might say, well, what do you know about books? Or what do you know about publishers? And you might actually get into a squabble with this guy, and suddenly you find that you've had this huge fight with your best friend, and it's caused a lot of conflict. Negative inquiry would be used in this manner. So let's say my friend comes and says, Jagmohan, I think, you shouldn't even try and get this book published, it's a horrid book. So what I would say is, what is it about this book that you find so horrid? So notice, I'm not saying the book is horrid. I'm not saying, look, you're an idiot for you to feel that way about my book. All I'm saying is, what is it about this book that you find so horrid? Now, when I ask this question encourages the other person to really ask himself, what is it really that I find so horrid about the book? So, a lot of times, people actually come up with statements without really being clear in the mind why they're saying it, because sometimes it might just be an emotional response. Asking a negative inquiry kind of a question helps people clarify things in their mind. So for instance, when I ask this question, what is it about this book that you find so horrid? If he already knows what he finds so horrid, he will tell me about it. In which case we have something specific on which to discuss. So if he says, I don't think the structure is good, I don't think the storyline is good, I don't think it's gripping enough, those are things that I can discuss with him, find out why he feels that way, and solve it. But if he's not clear in his mind why he's feeling that way, my question helps him clarify in his mind why he actually finds it horrid. So, what is it about the book that you find so horrid is a negative inquiry technique question. Let's take another situation. Let's say I have planned on a Sunday to go out with a bunch of friends, go out with the boys, basically spend a day out with the boys on a Sunday. And just when I'm gearing up to leave home, my wife comes and says, look, honey, I don't think you should be going out today. Or let's say she says something stronger. Let's say she says, look, I think you going out today is a bad idea. Now, a lot of people in this situation might actually get a little insecure and actually start saying, well, you always say that to me whenever I want to go out with the guys. And well, there you go, get into a domestic fight, get into aggression, get into conflict. Or somebody might just say, well, okay, if that's what you want, I will not go. And then you stay back and there is more conflict. If you were to use negative inquiry here, what you could say is something like this. Well, so honey, what is it about my going out with the boys that seems like a bad idea? Or what is it about my going out today with the guys that could possibly be a bad idea? Now, when I ask this question this way, it encourages my wife to think, what is it that's really bothering her about my going out? And when she shares that with me, it gives me a chance or an opportunity to address the concerns that might be there in her mind. there is no conflict or there is reduced conflict. But if I were to react without knowing why she's saying this, that is going to be a cause of huge probable conflict.